I am living in little me's dreams. Mm. No tears, no tears, no tears. Can you guys believe I've officially been living abroad for 1 year? Hi guys, I'm Paris. I'm 29 years old and I've been living abroad for 1 full year. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and when I was living in the United States, I'm American. I was living in Los Angeles. At the beginning of this year, I lived in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and at the end of this year, it's 2025 now, but let's pretend. At the end of 2024, I live in Bangkok, Thailand. So we're gonna get into a little bit about my journey. We're gonna talk highs, lows, things I didn't expect that surprised me. We're gonna talk lifestyle changes, cost of living, things that just threw me off, being a digital nomad, everything, okay? So stay tuned, make sure you hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. I have a bunch of categories here on my iPad and I have a bunch of questions that you guys asked me. So if I glance down, I'm just reading a little bit off my iPad to answer the questions that you guys asked. Before we get into everything, let's talk about why I even left the country. If you can't tell, and from my intro, I said I am American. I'm from Chicago. I lived in Los Angeles. I left America for so many reasons, but the big summary and the biggest reason is because God called me to leave. I was going through a lot. I got in a car accident. Just a lot of my circumstances were changing and God was pushing me in a direction. I think sometimes people believe like, oh, because maybe you were having financial hardships or you were. Sometimes God will align things to push you to where He is pushing you. Like, I ultimately know that God was calling me to leave the country, and that's what I did. And honestly, my finances were better than ever getting prepared to leave because I feel like He was just allowing things to fall together. But yeah, we're gonna get into that. But like literally everything started to trigger me. The food started to trigger me. Going outside started to trigger me. Like, I did an in-depth video on why I left America. Y'all know one of these sides, I never get it right, but I did a full-length video on that if you want to get into that. But ultimately, the reason that I left is because God called me to leave. He called me into wilderness. He called me to be with just Him, to go on a journey. And now I'm just living out a plan that will map out a bigger picture, and then people will be like, okay, I get it. But right now, it's just between me and God, and that's just what it is, you know? I also want to start off by saying I do not plan on living abroad forever. For me, this is a part of my journey, a part of my plan, a part of a greater plan that God has for me. I know a lot of people move abroad as a permanent move. I just plan on being abroad for a couple of years and coming back home. I am a businesswoman and I'm American, so that's where I have the most benefits to do business. So I will be back in America. So this is not a video about living abroad forever. It's just an update on my 1 year and how it's been going for this year. So lifestyle and daily life. How has my daily life changed? What do I miss most about my home country? What have I gained or learned from adopting a new culture? So let me just say that I'm going to be talking about living in 2 countries, not just one, because I've lived in 2 different countries in 2024. My journey living abroad started with Mexico. I had never visited Mexico or Thailand before I moved to either one. Last year, I had a going away party. I told everybody I plan on doing 6 months in Mexico, 6 months in Thailand. I've hit my 7 months in Thailand. I do plan on staying longer, but this was always a part of my plan, living in Mexico, living in Thailand. I didn't say, oh my God, I hate Mexico, let me leave. I did have some issues in Mexico, but this was always ultimately my plan. Now let's keep it going. So for Mexico, basically my life didn't change that much. It was just that, you know, I didn't have my friends around. I wasn't going outside and linking with my friends all the time, even though I didn't really do that much in LA. Like, you know, I kicked it, but I was at the crib a lot as well. Like I said, I was on a spiritual. I didn't ask her nothing about the time. I was on a spiritual journey, so it was a time where I spent a lot of time just with God, purging, practicing new habits, eating better, working out, just getting my life in order. I don't know if you guys seen my video where I went through and I planned my life. I've been planning my life since July of 2023, and I am very extensive about planning my life and very intentional. So I've just been practicing and showing up as the person I want to be, and that journey started. It didn't start in Mexico, but it got serious and concentrated in Mexico. And I got baptized a little bit before I moved away, a couple of months. So I just really was focusing in on my spiritual journey, which meant I was going to go through a lot of ups and downs that weren't necessarily Mexico itself, but was just a part of my journey. With me, things are spiritual, which is why I don't do a lot of, oh, this is why you should move out the country. My move is personal. This is something that I did for me, for God, for a small part of a bigger picture. And it's only going to make sense to those who are on a spiritual journey, maybe, or if you get it, you get it, but like, it's just a part of a bigger plan. Yeah. And I put this in my notes that I just want to say, like, my journey is my journey and your journey is your journey. This is not a why you should move to Thailand video. This is not a why you should move abroad video. This is literally my experience. And I just want to reiterate that so much in these first 5 minutes, because people will be in the comments disappointed that I haven't convinced them on why they should move. I'm just sharing my experience. If you take something from it spiritually, if you take something from it mentally, if there's anything you take from it, take it, but don't use me as your only source. Make sure you're researching, make sure you're looking up videos, make sure you're comparing the lives of different people. My life might not be like your life. You might live a more modest life. You might live a, you might have things that aren't aligned with my life, and that makes sense because we're not the same person. So make sure you're doing your research and you only apply what applies to you, and the rest, let it fly. Okay, that's enough disclaimers. I promise I'm done. I think things in Mexico that did change for me, it was hot as hell. Okay, I was burning the fuck up. I lived in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. I lived on the beach, y'all. I had a beach apartment. I could see the whole ocean from my rooftop of my apartment. It was beautiful. The beach was about maybe like a 1.5, 2 minute walk. It was just gorgeous, like living in a beach town. It was gorgeous. There was a lot to do, but I didn't do any of it. I think I did one activity, maybe two in Mexico. I can't think of what the second thing is. I can only remember doing one activity in Mexico, but we'll get into that of why I didn't do much in Mexico, but I still enjoyed it. I don't think I really like took it in. Even now, like at the end of this year, I was just like, oh, I didn't do much this year. I'm like, girl, you lived in 2 different countries successfully. You did a lot. And then when I was living in Mexico, I was still doing makeup. So I was on resorts every day. I got to drink for free. I got to eat for free. I got to see dolphins. I got to see vibes. I never been to a resort. Like, I'm 28 years old at this time. I'm 29 now. I'm 28 years old. I never been to a resort. I never got a wristband. If you don't have a wristband, you can't get in. Do you have a wristband? Or whatever it is. But yeah, like, this is my first. I had a lot of firsts in Mexico. Mexico was my first country I ever visited outside of the United States. First time going to a resort, first time having a beach apartment. It was a first for me. So it's so important to my journey and so important to my story. All in all, I will always love Mexico for it being my first, and it being my baby step. The reason that I wanted to go to Mexico is because it was close to Los Angeles, close to Chicago, still close to the United States, so I could try out living abroad. And also, I still had to go back and forth for surgery because I am recovering from a car accident. I'm claiming that I'm fully healed, covered by the blood. My body is healed from this point. I started to move like I'm completely healed, even though I'm in pain right now with the pillow behind me, but I had to start to get up and moving because I couldn't just feel for lack of better words, crippled by my circumstances. But I was going back and forth for surgery and getting my injections and different stuff while I was still living in Mexico. So I went back to the States twice. And that's why I needed to be close to there while I was getting my surgery. And that was expensive. That was an expense that I had to pay out of pocket, that I had to pay for place to stay. And it's an expense to go back and forth for surgery. So like, I had things that I still had to deal with, and that's something that you need to take note. Like, if you have stuff you still have to deal with in the United States, you need to take that into consideration, because going back and forth is expensive. And it wasn't that expensive from Mexico. Honestly, it wasn't. It was like $200 round trip. I'm tripping, but that's still money, As far as like, what did I miss about my home country when I first moved abroad? I had got sick when I first moved away, and there's no heat or heating pads. Imagine not having heat and you sick, and you need to sweat out your sickness, but you can't. So it was all bad. And it was at a time that it was freezing cold in Mexico. So it was just like WTF. But as far as like safety and stuff, it was pretty safe. I think like the taxi situation was crazy, but we're gonna get into that. But I lived in Playa del Carmen, so it was really walkable. So I started to walk around a lot, walk back and forth. I walked everywhere. I took the Areo buses. Oh my God, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about this stuff because I don't think about it no more. But I took the Areo buses to Tulum and to Cancun to do makeup all the time. I was booked and busy. That time came and went so quickly. But I did a lot of praying. I did a lot of fasting. I did a lot of working on myself. I did a lot of crying. I did a lot of discovering, and I wasn't lost, but I just needed to realign. I think a lot of people that move abroad are lost and they're trying to find themselves. I was not at all lost. I just need to reprioritize. That's it. And I needed to be in alignment with God, and I needed to quiet the noise of relationships, the noise of, I can't even say self-doubt, but yeah, I can say self-doubt. The noise of not going after my dreams, the noise of going out with my friends when I have better stuff to be doing, the noise of answering the phone for my friends when I have other stuff to be doing, you know, like the distractions of dating and men and all of these different things. Like I needed to be just me and God, and this was the place to do it. And that's what I was really focused on doing it. My skin was glowing. You know, I was in my bag because I was focused. Okay, I was in my Bible. I was, you know. Okay, but let's get into this is a lot about me, you know, but how do people interact socially in Mexico versus Thailand? Okay, so the way people interact in Mexico, because I lived in a beach city, is very like salesy, rah, trying to talk to you, but at the same time, it's like very, very safe, pretty much like outside the taxi situation. Sometimes we're gonna get into that. It's pretty safe, both places. Thailand they're not really trying to talk to you in Thailand. They're not really trying to like get your attention or any of that stuff. Maybe if you go into like a mall where it's vendors, they might be more prone to be trying to, you know, get your money because, you know, you're American type stuff, but it's more of that selling culture that, is it called haggling? I don't know what it's called, but I think it's called haggling, like that haggling culture in Mexico, which can be a lot, but I be having my headphones on, I put my earphones on. In Mexico, I did have an experience where somebody was like, fix your face. And I was just like, and it's crazy because nobody had ever said anything to me until I had braids in my head. And I feel like when I do have braids and I'm like more black presenting, I don't even know, like, but when I have braids, I always have an experience like that with a certain ethnicity. And it's always the same ethnicity. When I have braids, it's always something weird going on. But yeah, it's like, fix your face. Why you got an attitude? And I'm just walking, you know, like, so that was one of the only like regular outside of a taxi, like weird experiences that I had. Other than that, everybody was, you know, nice, and it was more about trying to sell me something, and people minded their business. I was so obsessed with the man that worked at my front desk. He was so kind. He watched over me. The other people that worked at my front desk did used to fuck with me though. But again, I don't take like it as, oh, the country's bad or the city's bad because of bad fruit. There's always going to be bad fruits on a tree, and when you're going through something so spiritual, you have to understand that the devil is going to use certain people to provoke you and to throw you off. So I don't even know if they were even those type of people or if they were being used to do something, if that makes sense. You get it if you get it. But as far as Thailand, I've only had one bad experience, which wasn't even bad to me. It was just a lady being rude in a store. And it's like, I'm not gonna pull out the money in my purse and be like, I got more money than you might ever see in your life, because I don't act like that. I'm not like that. So I simply giggled, walked out the store, and moved on with my life. I think a lot of times people feel like, oh, you know, I'm not gonna go to that place because they're gonna treat me bad. After they treat you bad, like, the experience is over. Like, if it's not brutality, if it's not, you know, like an ongoing thing, if it's like a one and done mistreatment, my life continues to go on. You decided to be a bad person today, you gonna miss your blessing, and I'm gonna go on with my life. So I'm not as offended as most people are when somebody from another culture or another country is rude to them. I really don't give a, because like I said, I just look at it like the devil is using you and he's trying to get to me and he can't do it. And you the fool that got used. I'm not finna get tricked out my spot. So I think if you just look at it, you know, that way, then maybe you'll be able to brush your shoulders off when it comes to certain stuff. Now mind you, I'm the most offended person in the world for real, but not by people like this. What are the differences in hospitality, mannerisms, or customs? Mexico is where I lived was very laid back with customs and mannerisms and hospitality. I think Thailand is just more put together. Bangkok is just like a more put together, very cultural, very well-mannered place to me. I think the hospitality is good. They are very kind. We bow to greet each other. I speak to everyone in my building. I speak to everyone when I see them. Everybody don't speak back. I'm not offended by stuff like that. People don't speak back in America. I feel like a lot of people take experiences and then, oh, this wouldn't happen to me in America. Yes, the fuck it would. You just wouldn't pay as much attention to it if it happened to you in America. Pace of life, is one country more relaxed or fast paced? So Bangkok is the city and Playa del Carmen is the beach, but I still feel like Playa was it's a party city. It's like, it felt like a party city rather, even though Tulum is the actual party city, but it's 3 o'clock in the morning and there's music playing loud. Versus here, the city is very calm, even though there's, horns honking and stuff. I've always lived in the city, so that type of stuff don't bother me. It didn't bother me in Mexico either, but I feel like definitely Mexico is way more lively. And then Thailand is, I gotta stop saying Thailand and I need to say Bangkok. Bangkok is pretty chill. It's definitely a busy city. It's a big city. It's like a New York. There's lots of traffic. There's lots to do. There's things going on, but to me, I can be more chill because I'm put up. I live in a luxury apartment. I'm chilling most of the time. I can do luxury things for a low price versus Mexico. It's like fast moving, fast paced. I'm always on the go. I'm always trying to get here, get there, where I can just relax a little bit more, I feel like, in Thailand, to me. Pace of life, how does this align with your lifestyle? Like I said, I just think Bangkok aligns more with me. I'm just able to live a life that I have dreamed of, my whole life, and it's inspiring to me. There's so much to see, so much to do, and it just pushes me. I don't know if Mexico necessarily pushed me. It pushed me to my limit. It pushed me in uncomfortable ways, but I don't know how much it inspired me. I think when I look back in a few years, I'm gonna be like, oh, it definitely inspired me, but it more so pushed me to the point where like I just never wanted to do makeup again. I mean, I was already there. I was at my, my wits end. I don't know if that's what I'm looking for, but I'll put it up if that ain't it. I was at my wits end with a lot of stuff that was going on in my life. That's doing makeup. I was hurting. I was crying out to God. I was ready to be done with this career. And the fact that I had to still pick up a brush to be able to survive in Mexico, it hurt me. It hurt me really, really, really bad, because I didn't expect to have to still be doing makeup. And the thing is, it was more so, I also was like, oh, well, I get to go to resorts for free, but dealing with people, especially drunk people in Mexico, you got Mexico police, it's just too much going on. Like, it was not aligning with my life, and it was just exposing everything that I did not want. It was definitely good for me and my journey, but don't want to go back. Okay, weather and environment, differences in the climate. So in Playa del Carmen, I got there during like low season, so I moved to Playa del Carmen in low season. I also moved to Bangkok in their low season, which is good. If you're gonna move abroad, you definitely want to move in the lower seasons because you get better prices, because it's usually rainy or colder and less people coming, so you can get adjusted to the area, you can get adjusted to like whatever's going on. So by the time it is high season, you know what to do, you know where to go, you know what the vibes is, So I went there to Mexico in like a little bit of a rainy season, but it was hot as fuck. When I got there, I was burning up. Then it got a little cool, then it would rain, and I'm talking about pour down. Like, I spent a lot of time at home when I wasn't working, but I definitely got caught in the rain a couple times. And same with Thailand. I got here during rainy season. It's just now getting to winter, and it is kind of chilly sometimes, like to the point where I'm like, oh my God, I could put on a jacket, and it's still 70, 80 degrees, but it just feel cold. But hot season coming up, and I'm not ready for that. But yeah, rainy season was hot, so I don't, child. which location felt more comfortable or suitable for you? I think Mexico, it was hot, but I think Thailand is gonna beat my ass in the hot season. Like, yeah, I think that I'm not prepared for what's to come. Okay, food and dining. What are the main differences between the Mexican and Thai food? Okay, so I lived in Houston for a little while, so I love Tex-Mex. I love very much, and I lived in LA for 5 years, so I love LA Mexican. You know, the Mexicans came across the border, American Mexican. I fucks with the American Mexicans. I fucks with the Mexican Mexicans. But when it comes to American Mexican food versus Mexican Mexican in the Quintana Roo, hey now, only in the Quintana Roo, even Mexican Mexicans will tell you the food is not good in the Quintana Roo. Cancun, Tulum, Playa. The food is not good. It was maybe 2 places, 3 places that were good. Oh, I gotta do some Mexico content. It was 3 places that was good that I used to eat at all the time. I don't know why I want to say Rockies, like Rasta. I don't know. It was some Rasta pasta. I can't remember what the name was. Yeah, I don't know the names of none of the places, but the food just was not good. I got food poisoning. That's when I was sick too. And I couldn't have no heater. It's just, you know, it's just not good. Now Thailand, I'm out here eating a lot of American food because I personally don't like Thai food. And I know, everybody loves pad Thai. Me personally, it tastes like a sweet. It don't taste like a meal. So I don't like that. I don't like sweet food. I like salty food. So they don't call me Big Mama for nothing, all right? Don't nobody call me Big Mama, and don't you start. But yeah, I don't love Thai food, so I definitely miss American food. That's probably one of my cons of living abroad is even in America, I am very much an American food eater. I don't eat Chinese food. I don't go and eat Jamaican food. I don't go and eat Caribbean food. I eat American food through and through. I love vegan burgers and beans. I ain't got no beans or no vegan burgers. I got some beans, but beans is $3 a can. That's another thing too. Grocery shopping in Mexico was when I realized I would have to make a lot of foods from scratch. So I started having to learn how to cook from scratch, even though I can cook. So all I gotta do is look up the recipe and I can boom, boom, boom. But I realized like everything you want to make, you're gonna have to make it from scratch. That was beginner scratch. Thailand, you really have to make stuff from scratch. Like I'm making mayonnaise, and I'm making ranch, and I'm making like things from the scratchiest scratch, like oil, dill. Like I'm literally making stuff from scratch, like buttermilk, sour cream. Like this stuff was available in Mexico. It might have been more expensive. Like the American foods that we eat at the grocery store are definitely much more expensive, and not even just the American brands, but stuff like if you want sour cream versus crema, you gonna pay that difference. So go and grab the crema, because the sour cream gonna be high as hell, whipping cream high as hell, because they make that type of stuff from scratch. I don't know how to make whipping cream. That's the one thing I still ain't made it. I keep finding it, but I feel like I'm finna have to make some soon. But I have to cook from scratch. You don't have to really cook from scratch because certain stuff is available, but the foods are fresher. Sometimes they do cost more, but I feel like if it's fresh, it's fresh. Like I feel like there was definitely a shortage of fresh food in America. It was getting really bad. It was getting annoying, even to the point where like I would go in the store and I would want to cook something and nothing is available. And that still happens here sometimes too. Like yesterday when I went to the grocery store, there was no broccoli for my egg, but you know, it is what it is. And then with Thai, like I said, a lot of stuff is just not available. What are my favorite dishes in each place? In Mexico, I am loyal for that quesadilla, honey. I love me a quesadilla. I love me some guac. I was tearing that guac up. I was eating a lot of pizza in Mexico too. I could have became a pizza. Once I found that street pizza place and it was right by my house, I was eating that street pizza all the time. And then there was this Rasta pasta. They hooked that up. That was good. I liked it. And then my favorite dish here, that's actually a Thai dish. I love masaman curry. I love curry, like the Indian curry. I like a lot of food here, I'm not gonna lie, but it's a lot of stuff that's not Thai, okay? And I love Malaysian food. I be going to Malaysia to eat. Like I went to Malaysia for Christmas because a girl gotta eat, okay? Cultural experiences. Discuss the festivals or traditions you experience at each place. Mexico, Day of the Dead, Christmas, Independence Day. Okay, so for Mexico, I was there from November to June. I don't remember Christmas in Mexico. Like, I don't remember, I don't remember it at all. I don't remember if there were like decorations. And I lived on the tourist strip. So I lived on, I want to say it's First or Fourth or Child, I don't know. I don't remember no more. But I remember a Christmas tree. I do remember Christmas tree by the mall. But the way that Bangkok goes all out for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, they had on pilgrim outfits. I'm like, we need to do some proper research, guys. This is not feathers on the head and everything. This ain't not okay. But they have Halloween. They had them outside of the malls wearing vampire outfits. They take the security outside directing traffic with vampire outfits on. They take this really, really serious. Like, it's not a game. Thailand loves holidays. Like, this was my favorite Christmas. I went to Malaysia and I was in Thailand and then I went to Malaysia. I did a Christmas shoot. It's my first Christmas shoot ever because Thailand just really gets you in the mood for the holidays. Like, a lot of people ask like, oh, how's the holidays away from your family? I was never big on holidays. I really do not celebrate holidays like that. But Thailand has me like, oh my God, I love the holidays. Like, I cannot wait for their actual New Year because it's like a water festival where like they go around the city with everybody has water guns and you're just getting sprayed. It's gonna be me, my GoPro, and I'm gonna have a ball. Okay, I think Day of the Dead in Mexico, I think was like the most that I seen going on. But also with Mexico, it could have been like more inner city because I know they did have like I think my mom actually came for Christmas, if I'm not mistaken, or around Christmas. But they did have like Christmas lights when we went to go take her to get ready to go to the airport. There was Christmas lights and stuff like a little bit more towards the inner city. So that's probably just like where the stuff was at. Thailand has Songkran, which is a water festival, which you float these little bread croutons on the water and you are basically giving offering to the water. And I put a little description, but it's in my video. I did it no, not Songkran, Loy Krathong. Yeah. And I did that recently and that was cool. And then I went around the like house that was in the Thai family for like centuries. I mean, like centuries and centuries, old money. Like pass the house down. And I got a tour through the house, so that was really nice. I do like celebrating, you know, different things with like I do like celebrating like their culture and mine. I like to learn about what they have going on, and I love that they kind of include us. Like, it's crazy how many like American or Christian holidays are celebrated in a place that's not really like a Christian or American based place. But I feel like America is kind of like the people that they really, you know, they cater to. No shade. But I mean, Christmas is like a kind of a national thing, right? Well, national would be just the United States, but I think it's worldwide at this point. How do these cultural experiences enhance you living there? It just allows me to like appreciate, you know, where I am and learn more and just be immersed in the culture. And I'm very grateful to be included. My sewing teacher was the one who actually told me about the Loy Krathong festival, and I left class, I got dressed and I went because I just wanted to experience it. And I did go to the paid one. There are a lot of free ones, but I try to go to the paid experience so I can learn more, so I can be around less people, and so I can support. I try to give back, you know. I try to invest into Thailand as much as, you know, I'm taking from it. It's not my country. I try to invest in it by paying for things where I wouldn't have to pay. I don't believe in overpaying for things, but if I can support something, I will support it. Expectations versus reality. How did living abroad compare to what you expected? To be honest, because I'd never been abroad, I didn't know what to expect. I'm still kind of like even as I sit here and I talk about some of this stuff, it don't feel real. Like, it feels like I'm in an episode or something. I don't know. It just feels like AI, open chat, AI. I don't know. Like, it's gonna hit me one day that I have been living abroad for 13 months and I'm gonna be like, wow. But because I'm moving through life, because it's such an important time in my life right now where I'm literally getting up and I'm putting everything into myself, everything into my brand, everything into my life, everything into who I want to be. It's kind of one of those times where, you know, you always hear people say they wish they would have looked around and enjoyed the moments more. While I'm enjoying it, I'm also just moving forward so quickly that I don't know. It's just, I'm just here. It's happening. I live abroad, like I'm loving it though. Like when I get on the back of the motorbike, that's when I take it in the most. That's when I'm like, oh my God, I live in Thailand, like I really do love it here. I really do enjoy it. But there's so much more, in life, so many things that I have to achieve. So I'm always kind of just looking ahead, but I'm definitely grateful for this experience. I definitely need it. It's crazy. I was just talking to my cousin and her name's Shylin. My name's Ty. And I always said I would name my baby Thailand, and it's like I've been saying this since I was a kid, Thailand, 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 Thailand. And she's like, it's crazy that you live there. And you've been talking about this since she was a little girl. Somewhere I never thought in my mind, like, oh, I would live here. I went and watched my video, my Q&A from like 5 years ago. I said out my mouth I would live in Thailand. And I'm like, how am I saying these things and not even knowing like that's what I want? It's just something that you blurt out when somebody asks you a question. And you could have been looking for it. You could have been looking towards it your whole life. But I'm such a looking forward, moving forward, doing this, doing that, doing thing after thing, that sometimes I don't even realize how full circle, things come until I get to them. But God really has a plan for my life. He really has a long run for me. And I'm just, I'm just trying to he's ordering my steps, but I'm just trying to, step right behind him, step on the side of him rather. I'm trying to step in step with him, and I'm just moving forward, Biggest surprises, positive and negative. I think my biggest surprise in Mexico was the food being nasty. And just it being so much more expensive than I expected. The positive in Mexico was just some of the peace that I felt there. Experiencing my first times going to the resort, just experiences. I got some very rich experiences in Mexico. Like I had some good times. For sure. My biggest surprise in Thailand, the food. Positive, there's nothing third world about this country. Nothing. Every country has a place that's not so built up. There's not a city, New York, LA are close. Nothing compares to Bangkok. They have their shit together. They are shitting on us. Okay, and I just did not expect to be so inspired and so like, wow. Like, I don't know what America looks like. I haven't been to America in 2024. Yes, I have. I haven't been to America in the last 6 months, but I don't think y'all got none of this. I'm just shocked by how advanced and how just coordinated and put together this city is. Did your reasons for moving align with your actual experience? Definitely. I think the spiritual breakthrough and the being one with God, it worked perfectly in Mexico. It worked perfectly in Thailand. Like, I'm being pushed to be better and better every day. My surroundings force me to be better. My situations force me to be better. When my back's against the wall, it forces me to be better. When I'm doing good, it makes me want to be better. Everything that I came out here for has either happened or is happening, or I'm working towards it happening. And all the goals that I have are definitely about to come full circle. Goals that I've had since I was a little girl are coming back up and about to come full circle for me. Like, I am living in little me's dreams. No tears, no tears, no tears. Oh. I know my life is coming full circle. I have no doubt about who I am, what my purpose is, where I'm going. A star knows when they're a star. When God calls you, you know you've been called. And it's just a process of waiting it out and being patient with God. And I am so patient with God. I am so on his time. I so trust him. I so love him. I so appreciate this journey. And I know it's all with purpose. And I know that I am headed for something that I couldn't even imagine, way bigger than the plans I have for myself is God's plan for me. And it's a plan that He has been telling me since I was young, and I have been patient. I have not rushed God. I have been sad, I have been mad, I have been angry, but I never felt like God wasn't moving fast enough, because I understand the journey in all of this. And I know it's going to make sense. And I'm just grateful to live in that knowing. Hi guys, thanks for checking out my YouTube channel. I wanted to let you guys know about my new site. It's officially dropped. It's called whereispears.com. Y'all, I built this site from scratch, so it'll keep on getting worked on, but it is here, it is now. So this website is going to be a blog website where I introduce you to my travels and places that I've been. You can read different stories about my baptism, where to stay, adventures, where to eat. You can follow me. There is an about page, and it talks about my life and everything about me if you want to learn a little bit more about me. I have a life stories tab where I'll be adding different stories about my life. Obviously, if you watched a lot of my YouTube videos, you know, but if you want to do a little quick background reading and you don't want to watch all my videos, this is a quick way to get a little bit more familiar with me. I also have a travel blog where I will be posting my stuff, like I told you guys, different things about Playa. And if you want to go through the blog specifically, you can choose a place like Malaysia, Mexico, Thailand. If you're not trying to read my blog and you just want an itinerary, make sure to click on itineraries and you can shop my itineraries. Right now they are $9.99, but as you can see, some of them are $25 and some of them are $19.99. I'm spending the next month in Vietnam, so I will be having more itineraries coming soon. I have my gallery where you can look through my photos. Of course, you can follow me on social media to see more. My support page where you could donate. Check out my social media. If it's a business thing, if you want to collab, if you work for a PR firm, you can definitely reach out in my contact. My Amazon list is here, my Amazon storefront, my LTK. Facts, if you want to know a couple things about me and a couple things about my website, there is a fact page here. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and we're going to get back to it. Bye guys. Social life and community. Have you made friends or built a social circle? So I have made friends. I have 2 friends and a friend that lives in Japan. Daquan, who's been on my channel. Alana, who's been on my channel in my last episode. Daquan's always on my channel, so y'all seen him. And then SRT Bree, which some of y'all know, is my friend from Japan. So I have 3 abroad friends. I did make a friend in Mexico. I don't know if she was really my friend, but that's okay. Sometimes you are just friends with people for a season, and that was my one and only friend in Mexico. So, well, I would say I have a second friend. I met another makeup artist there, Anna. I loved Anna, so that's my friend too. But that was my only black friend. And yeah, I don't really think that she was my friend for real. But it is what it is. I enjoyed the time that I spent with her, and now that it's over, it is what it is, you know? And then this is really awkward. And I know a lot of people are watching this that are probably, you know, there are a lot of people who want to be my friend. Unfortunately, I am not a I am friendly. I am not a friend. I'm not a group type of person. I don't like a bunch of unnecessary friendships. I don't like to hang out with people. I'm a very intentional person. Every friendship needs to serve a purpose. And the purpose needs to be set from the beginning. And honestly, it just has to be a natural thing. I can't force things. I can't meet up with strangers. I can't meet up with people that follow me on Instagram. I don't really do that. Although all 3 of these people are people that I met off of Instagram, we follow each other, you know, it's a little different. It happened organically. It's a lot of forced friendships trying to happen. I see you guys sending me the groups that are in Bangkok. I'm not interested in hanging out with groups of people. There are people here who are hanging out with Thai gangbangers and y'all sending me that stuff. That don't make sense to me. I would never jeopardize my passport, first and foremost, by hanging around with people and waving water guns and doing stupid stuff like that. There are people out here who I don't know, and I'm not willing to risk hanging out with people and something. I'm abroad. Getting into it with people and trying to figure out friendships, it's not gonna happen for me. I'm here for me, God, and my journey. So I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to date. I'm not here to be social. The stuff that happens organically on the way, praise God. I prayed over my friendships. I pray over my decisions to link up with people, and I don't get too many green lights. I got 3 green lights. I went with those green lights. The green lights stayed green. But the very first person I met out here, we were not friends for even 24 hours, and I decided I don't have time for anything like that, because people want to get to know your internet personality or be content creators, and when I turn this camera off, you know, I very much give real nigga. I don't real bitch, real no. Okay. Somebody said I put too much personality and tell too much of my business in my videos. It's like, newsflash. This is my life I'm discussing. This is not a master class on how to move abroad. This is just me discussing my life. Anyway, no shade. I'm obviously bothered. Tips for meeting people as an expat or a traveler. I don't have any tips because I don't want to meet people. But I got tips. You can obviously join the groups. It's a lot of people that want to make friends and want to be a part of a social circle. It's just not me. Do you feel a part of the local community, or do you stick with the expat groups? I love making friends with the locals. Not like friends. See, okay, I love strangers. I love the experience of meeting somebody for one day and never seeing them again. I love that. I love being nice and kind and sharing energy and stories with somebody I'm never gonna see again in my life. I love that. So I'm cool with speaking to the locals, speaking with the tourists, speaking to the expats. I speak to everybody. I talk to everybody. I just like for it to stay there, in there, and I move on with my life. You move on with your life. Was one location more social or welcoming? I definitely think Thailand expat community is definitely more welcoming than Mexico, but Mexico also has a Black group. I think both groups, like, I don't know how to share my opinion without being shady, because it's gonna feel shady because it's my opinion. All the expat groups and expats in general that are in groups, to me, you know what? The thing is, people want a sense of community, and I don't. God is my community. I'm my community. My mama, my community. My real friends are my community. I don't feel like I need to join a big group of Black people to feel like I have a community. I just don't feel that way. But a lot of people do feel that way, that they need to be in a community and see one another and feed off one another. And that's great. You know, when you're in class and you get to pick a group project or do it on your own, I likely would have did it on my own, because I'm going to end up doing the work anyway. Unless my friend Destiny was in there, then we was going to chitter chatter away in a group, you know. But anyway, my point, the expat communities are very, buy a ticket to this, buy a ticket to this. And honestly, you know, in order to meet up at these places, money has to be made, venues have to be paid for. But I'm not gonna lie, the expat communities feel very like, give me your money, 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 give me your money. I need some money, I need some money. It feels very much like they running businesses, and that's just, you know, that's not my business. Do you meet more locals, expat, fellow tribe? Differences in nightlife or social activities. So I am not a nightlifer. I don't go out, but like I said, Mexico is more party. Bangkok is more chill vibe, a lounge, a hidden bar, a lot more activities to do in Bangkok. Chill versus Mexico. Pump, pump. You know, relationships. How has living abroad affected relationships with friends and family back home? So with my family, everything is all good. With my friends, I did have to say goodbye to a friendship. Right when I got to Thailand, I just realized that this relationship was not benefiting me. I love this person dearly. I will always love her. I don't know if we'll ever get back to our friendship. I don't know if it's over forever, but I just felt like it was not benefiting me to be a part of this friendship. I was not gaining anything from it but heartache and anxiety and heaviness. Every time I had a conversation with them, it was never about anything positive. It was always negative, and it was energy depleting. And I love this person. You can pray for somebody many times, but if they don't pray for themselves, if they don't align themselves, it's nothing you can do. And I just feel like she has stuff to take care of in her own life that if I'm there for her, she won't be able to get through without really being alone to face herself. I have coddled her for a very long time because she's like my sister. She's like my little sister. Even though she's older than me, I'm older. And I couldn't do it anymore. You cannot pour. My cup is full, but I cannot drain my cup. It's been full many times and I've over poured into other people's. I'm keeping my cup full. And the overflow that I have, the people that catch it have to be full as well. But yeah, I'm really at a time where I told her, it's imperative that I take care of myself right now. This is a breakthrough for me. Like, this is a time where I have to give it my all. This is my last chance. And I know that God has pulled me out of a tunnel. God has literally walked me out of so much, mess, being down, and he's pulled me up. I don't have another chance. So I have to focus on myself. And that's what I did. So some of my relationships have ended. There's relationships that have ended with no conversation. Some of my friends unfollowed me when I got to Mexico. One of my friends got mad that I got sick and was like, that's why you should have never left. What'd you say? That's why you should have never left. You sick, you worried about money. I'm like, who the fuck said I moved because of money? Like, I don't know where she got that from. We didn't talk on a day-to-day, so I'm just like, the assumption that, okay, you just gotta kind of let people have stuff because they assume stuff and they don't understand this journey is so spiritual for me. God has moved mountains in my life since I did what he told me to do. The Bible talks about the wilderness a lot. God calls people out of their cities into other countries in the Bible so much. And it all made sense to me once I got in my Bible, once I started to read my Bible. So, I mean, what's understood ain't gotta be explained. The people that get it will get it, and the people that don't, unfortunately, will not. And that's just, that's just kind of is what it is. We almost done, guys. I'm getting there. How do you maintain long distance connections? Most of my friendships are long distance. They always have been. I only had a couple of friends in LA, and even still, my closest friend is in Chicago. We've been friends for over 10 years, and we've always been long distance, so it's not normal for us. I will fly home for her baby shower. I flew home for my cousin's baby shower, but I don't fly home for much. I don't believe in, I flew home for her wedding, but I don't believe in weddings and baby showers unless it's somebody super close to me. I always say I don't like weddings, like baby showers, but if you're close to me, then it is important to me, so I'll go home, like if I'm super close to you. Any romantic relationships abroad, has this been a factor? For me, I am not dating, again, like I keep saying, God. It's about me and God right now. A lot of being distracted comes from being in relationships, giving yourself to other people, sharing yourself. Like, I am just beyond that. I'm almost 30 years old. I'm just not interested right now. I have work to do. I have goals to, grasp. If the love of my life falls out the sky, let him be dark, tall, and handsome. And, I'll be with it, but I'm not looking for a romantic connection at this time. I'm not going to be bothered with that right now. Personal growth. How has living abroad changed you? Living abroad has changed me so much. I'm so close to being out of survival mode. I could just feel it in my chest. It's just breaking away. I've been able to go to I didn't go to the dentist. Oh yeah, I went to the dentist for the first time in Mexico. I did not grow up with money. I don't have insurance. I've always worked for myself, so I hadn't never been to the dentist since high school. I got my first teeth cleaning. I still have never had my teeth whitened, but I'm gonna get them whitened. I need a tooth implant. I was supposed to get that while I was in Mexico, but it needed to be the drill, then 6 months apart, and I was leaving to Thailand, so I couldn't do it, but I'm gonna get it in Turkey. but I was able to get dental care. I've been able to get medical care. I've been able to get facial care. I've been able to, do different things that I've never gotten to do. I'm in sewing classes. I start piano next week. Like, I've been able to do different things that I've always wanted to do. It's been a dream of mine to do piano. And when I touch those piano keys this week, I'm going to cry because it's been a lifelong dream of mine to play the piano, play an instrument, produce, and I feel like my dreams are just coming full circle, and I'm able to do things that I've never been able to do. I was able to go to a resort, like I said, even having a passport, even flying to Mexico itself, even though I haven't been able to travel as much as the next person. I live in these countries, so I'm very much living here, and sometimes I don't leave because I don't have the means to do so, or I'm saving, or I'm working towards investing in myself, but I can see myself being financially free sooner than I ever could have been, paying $4,000 every month, playing catch up in America, being behind, being in debt, a lot of these things that we become accustomed to that people make fun of each other for, but we don't really have a chance not to be like that. I don't know if people don't know or something, but I was born into poverty. So, it's been a long cycle of financial illiteracy and mistakes and debt and getting out of debt and then getting back in debt and then getting out of debt and having a really good credit score, then getting in a car accident and now you in debt again, like, because you didn't expect, and you don't have an emergency fund because you don't get emergency funds. Like, the fuck, but just being able to see myself coming out of what I've been buried so deep in and finally just getting a break and just my life being aligning, and it's changed me a lot. I've definitely grown so much. I'm definitely much happier. And I'm just focused, and I think it's so important for me to be focused for where I'm headed in life. Biggest lessons you've learned: independence, adaptability, question mark. The biggest lessons I've learned, honestly, are that people just don't think like you. Like, people are just literally different. And when I was in Mexico, I used to walk a lot, and this happens in America too, but like, people will not move out your way when you walk, or like, I'll always, shift. If we're walking and we're coming the same, I'll shift to the side, and that person won't even move to the side a little so y'all don't brush it. They will literally stay right there. And it's like, what would make you not move? But people don't think the way you think. People don't move the way you move, and I've just had to learn to let a lot of things go. People don't understand what you understand. People haven't had the experiences that you've had. People only know what they know. So it's just caused me to just not be as frustrated because people literally just don't know or don't have experience, or it just is what it is. So I've kind of just become more calm with being reactive, with taking things personal. Challenges you've overcome and how you handled them. We're going to get into that with the safety. But I think the biggest challenge I have in Thailand is my self-identity. I'm a very confident, beautiful, bad girly. I love to put that shit on. I love to have my hair done. I don't really get to be like that here because the clothes are not my size. There's not hair products available for me. So it feels like I'm less of myself, even though, I show up as myself, but I just don't feel like I get to, pop my shit. And I feel like this would be the time for me to pop my shit, but I can't pop my shit the way I want to pop my shit. But it's okay. I'm going to either fly to the UK or Japan or something, or China. Give me a bunch of clothes when I can, and I'm going to come back and pop my shit, okay? Period. But my challenges in Mexico, we're going to get into with safety. Lifestyle fit. Which place felt more aligned with your personality or your goals? Bangkok definitely is more aligned with my personality. Like, it gives very upper echelons, but on a budget. And that's me. Mid-luxury, luxury on a budget is me. It's moi. And that's Bangkok. Like, it definitely costs more, but it costs less than the best, And I really like it here. I like what it's exposing me to. A lot of Thai people are very rich. A lot of people that live here are rich. A lot of people that live in my building are rich. So it's just exposing me to a different lifestyle and different things. And I'm just becoming so obsessed with merchandising and just so many different things that I've never seen before. So definitely Bangkok is more of my personality fit. Did one country feel more home-like than the other, and why? Again, that's going to be Bangkok for me. I'm from Chicago, so I'm from the city, and if you look at my balcony me, and my little view from my home is very city, in the middle of the city. It gives like downtown Chicago, so it definitely reminds me of home. I am a city girl through and through, and it's just wonderful to live here. It reminds me of Chicago a lot. It's crazy that I'm all the way in Asia. Like, I definitely disassociate being so far. Like, it's crazy. It's a crazy concept to even think about, but like, I'm so far. Like, I'm 20 plus hours away from home, but it don't feel that way. It feels like home. If you could live in one long term, which would it be and why? It's definitely gonna be Bangkok. I definitely plan on getting the DTV visa and letting this be my like home portal. I do want to live in China, but I would like to just come back and forth from Bangkok, China, Korea, Japan, you know, all the places, but this be my main like hub. But I do want to still go back to America. Religion. I'm a Christian. I do watch my church online. I do miss going to church. There are some Christian churches here, but I do have my Misophonia, and I know that they translate it from English to Thai. That would disturb my spirit, and not because I'm demonic, but because of my annoyance with sounds. Also, certain sounds, certain clapping, certain, it's a lot, and it's just better for me to watch at home. But when I do visit the States, I do go to church. Finances, cost of living compared to your home country. So as far as Mexico was expensive. Mexico was getting up there because they are, and I hate to say it, but the Quintana Roo is very greedy. They do a lot of scamming. They do a lot of just dirty stuff out there, and they will get you on charge after charge after charge after charge, and they will try to play you so many times, and it is damn near nothing you could do. Still not as expensive, but not cheap. My 1-bedroom apartment there was $1,200, and then I had to pay Wi-Fi and water bill and electricity, which might have been like $100 total or some shit. I don't know. So about $1,300 plus groceries and stuff. I was at least spending like two to three, probably like 3 to 4 bands a month. And then Thailand is around the same. My rent is $1,000 for a 2-bedroom, which is 1 bedroom and then a den. Really, it's not really a 2-bedroom because it's a couch down there, but it could be a bedroom if you wanted it to be. It's a den. And I spent about $1,050 on rent for that 2-bedroom duplex, and then I spent a lot less on electricity and stuff, maybe $50 with all my bills are included in my rent, and then I got a housekeeper included in my rent. Yeah, see, like all that stuff is included. I pay for housekeeping in Mexico. I don't remember how much it was, maybe like $60. I don't remember. Financial challenges or benefits of living abroad. I definitely had challenges just because I kind of upped and left. Like my move wasn't planned. So I definitely had challenges, not in the beginning, because when I first moved, I sold everything. So I had a lot of money, but then I think came like January, I definitely was having lots of issues, and then I started doing makeup and I had no issues. And then moving over here, I had a decent amount of money, but then my apartment wasn't ready. I got denied boarding. I'm renting Airbnbs with an animal, which costs more. You got to pay 3 months up front with rent, versus in Mexico you just paid $600, so half of the first month's rent was the deposit. So that was a big difference too. So you come here, you paying $3,000, you already spent $2,000 on the flight. Like, the money adding up, you got to pay for Airbnbs, you got to pay for food. So I was poor as hell when I got here, and I knew that my money would re-up. I had a really large check coming in, but it took 2 months to hit my account, and so I definitely was down bad when I first got here. But I knew that God told me to come, and it all worked out like I knew it would. But I definitely do not recommend coming when you're not ready. Like, I do a lot of shit that I wouldn't recommend doing, which is why I don't talk about moving abroad, because God covers me. If you ain't aligned with God, God ain't gonna cover your every move, but God be covering the moves because he told me to do it. Okay, and I can't reiterate that if I don't know your relationship or what you got going on. Advice on budgeting, saving, earning while living abroad. I don't have none. But just make sure you are documenting what you're spending, because it adds up very, very quick. And people love to say that cheap word. I hate it. I say affordable, but cheap is not realistic in Bangkok. I mean, it is for people that live at cheap. You know, if you're gonna eat street food and you're gonna live in a $400 apartment, you could very much get by. But you gotta remember that you're not making that much income. I didn't have that much money coming in. I ain't have barely any money coming in the first few months. Just now starting to see, you know, regular checks coming in from social media. And then then I'm about to drop digital products, which will take me to the, you know, a good amount of money. But people definitely over exaggerate how good they have it coming here, and that's why they end up they ass right back home. No shame. Compare expenses like rent, food, transportation, entertainment. So transportation here is pretty simple. You can get on a Grab bike for $1, $2, $3, sometimes $5 if you're going far as hell. A car, literally, it will cost you $10 or less depending on where you're going. To the airport, $20 or less. It's not expensive. It's easy. Entertainment. If you're going to a bar, a little more expensive. If you want to do something luxury like go to the movie cinema, a little more expensive, but mainly entertainment is pretty inexpensive and super fun until it comes to like alcohol or something. Certain food, there is a VAT fee, a service fee, all of that stuff do add up, but again, pretty affordable. Rent is decent. Food, I do spend more on groceries here than I spent in Mexico because there's a lack of ingredients here of stuff that I actually eat, but it's still not a lot. They both, you know, around that 100 mark. I think I spent more like 80 in Mexico, where I spent like 130 here. And then I order a lot of food here. I did not order food in Mexico because they will not bring your shit and you will just be arguing with Mexican customer service and it's not gonna work. But I order food here a lot, which I've been cooking lately, but still. Which place was more affordable or offered better value for money? I think that Thailand offers better value for money. Mexico is a very variable place. You can't even predict your finances because it's very greedy. They're trying to cheat you so much, especially with things like transportation, entertainment, going out. It's gonna be some type of gimmick to charge a car, get money from you. Like there's gonna be some type of scam and it's not worth it. Did you find any unexpected costs or hidden savings? Definitely a lot of unexpected costs. I talked about the cost of moving. I do have a video on that. Definitely some unexpected costs in there. Don't remember what, but I definitely remember bringing up a couple unexpected costs. That's just with moving, period. I feel like people really don't prepare for moves that well. Okay, challenges. Biggest difficulties you face: language barriers, cultural differences, homesicknesses. So as far as language barriers, people always ask me about that. I'm a Duolingo queen, but Thai is not on Duolingo, and Thai is a very hard language to learn. There are a lot of people that speak English here. A lot of people do only speak Thai. If you need to communicate, definitely recommend getting a Google Translate. But a lot of times body language goes a long way. I'm a smiler, I'm a pointer, I'm a hand gesturer. The same way that people in sign language communicate with their hands. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just assuming there's some sign language in there. But I just mean thank you. But the same way that people communicate with their hands, I do think like body language and hands goes a long way. So I am able to communicate. Some people, when they realize you don't know their language, they will ignore your ass. Yeah, I've been ignored many times. I just be like, okay, that's cool. They will just literally ignore your ass. The language barrier does not really affect me in Thailand, which is bad because it, you know, I really should be learning Thai and I'm not. But in Mexico, I learned my Duolingo. I did my streak. I was on my streak. So, you know, I was Donde esta agua? Ella es a mujer. All right, that one right. Compare your sense of safety in both locations: walking around, transportation, and daily errands. Okay, so Mexico is very small. The grocery store literally down the block from my house. Same as Thailand. I always live super close to the grocery store. Even in Los Angeles, I live across the street from the grocery store. I'm always in close proximity to a grocery store. God know I got to get to that grocery store, okay? But walking is safe. I can walk at night. In Mexico, I would go to the grocery store at 10:30 p.m. Honestly, you don't go outside in Mexico until nighttime. That is something that's unique. You go outside at night because it's so hot during the day, and it was very safe. I never really had to watch my back or nothing like that. Same with Thailand. I've never looked over my shoulder. I've never had to like worry about somebody following me or nothing like that. I'm always on my P's and Q's. I'm from Chicago, but I definitely don't have to worry about safety in either place. Now, with that being said, when it comes to transportation, Thailand has been absolutely safe with the exception of one incident where I was on a bike, and this literally never happened until like 2 weeks ago. This man kept putting his hand on my leg on the bike, and I think he was like maybe drunk or something, because he was even talking to like other drivers and they was like kind of laughing at him, and then one of them was kind of like mean mugging him. Like, I really think he was like a drunk old man, but he kept touching me. Men, I'm not gonna say men gonna be men, but like because yeah, that's not acceptable. But yeah, that happened, but nothing, you know, else has happened, and I definitely count that against him and not Ty as a whole plate. In Mexico, it was very unsafe when it came to the taxi situation. So the incident that happened with me, I got into a taxi and he told me, I want to say like 200 pesos, and then when I got there it was switched to like 600, and I was just not giving them that. Like, I knew that they was trying to, you know, get me out of my money, like, and I was not going for it, and it was a very short distance, and he tried to lock me in a car, and I went out the window and I put my suitcase out the window. Like, I don't give a fuck. I went out the window. Then he drove out, and I guess I was like, the people at the hotel, he took me to the wrong hotel. First he took me to the wrong hotel before he told me the wrong price. He purposely took me to the wrong hotel because he knew if I didn't pay, I would have to walk to the other hotel. So I'm walking to the other hotel with my suitcase and stuff. He's sitting back there with his car. Now it's like dirt road in between the two hotels, so it's like a little far like walk, but it's like dirt road. He gets out the car and like it's pushing up on me and stuff. I was pushing his ass back.
Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Get off.
Págame.
Get off of me. Get the fuck off of me. I'm not playing with you. Get the fuck off of me. You came out here to try to do something to me. Take this fucking money. I'm trying to give him this damn money. He don't want to take it. You changed the fucking price and you think somebody come help me. Help me. Do not stop putting your fucking hands on me. And where the fuck is this bride at, bro? I'm about to go the fuck home. I swear to God. Help me now. Somebody come and help me. Get off of me. Get off of me. Leave me the fuck alone. Take this money. You tried to change the price. You're not changing the price. Take the money and leave me alone. Take the money out of my hand and leave me alone. What the fuck?
He was pushing on me. I was screaming at the top of my lungs, but like, you know, anything could have happened in that situation. Like, he definitely tried to get me to a vulnerable point, and if he would have had anybody else, but like, I refused to give him the money. And it was a day that I had a wedding and the bride wasn't answering the phone, so I'm just out here with this man in the middle of nowhere. And to this day, I do not like that bride. I never want to talk or see to that bride ever again in my life. Oh, it was the best day of her life. She loved her makeup. It was one of the worst days of mine. I was just left out there, and eventually some white man came and brought the money from her bridal party. But it wasn't even about the money. It was about the principle, and nobody even coming and check on me or nothing. I'm just out here with a man that's literally acting a fool. And it was crazy because my wallet had got stolen in Tulum the week before. So I didn't have a wallet or nothing. So it was like the money that I had on me, I wouldn't even got in the car if they didn't tell me that price, and I had that amount of money, and I knew I would be able to get back with the money from the wedding. I had told them they had to give it to me in cash because my wallet got stolen. That's another thing. My wallet got stolen on a boat in Tulum. We got a private boat. My clients paid for a private boat, but that don't mean they're not gonna steal your wallet. Type shit. Then with the taxis, they'll charge whatever price they want to. Then I ended up getting a personal taxi driver because he the only one that was not trying to scam me, and it was like really charging me the right price or whatever, even though it would be expensive for no reason, like more than Uber would be at the crib. Now Cancun got Uber. Tulum and Playa don't have Uber. So when you get to Cancun, the rides is cheap. I would only recommend going to Cancun if you're going to Quintana Roo, because you can get in Ubers, but you can only get in taxis up in Playa del Carmen and Tulum, and the cartels run the taxis, so it's just not safe. And like, I would have my personal taxi driver come and get me from my house. The taxi people telling him he can't come pick me up from in front of my house because this they taxi zone. And this somebody that I called to come and pick me up. Y'all, I would have to walk to the gas station every morning, meet him at the gas station. I would go up in the, not the gas station, the 7-Eleven. I would go into the 7-Eleven, give me something to drink. By the time I come out, it's taxi people at the car. You can't get in the car with him. You got to get in the car, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this is my friend. I would have to get in the front seat. They all in the trunk trying to take my bags out, taking videos of me. I done got in a car with somebody and somebody came and pulled me out the car. Like, a lot of just unsafe shit happened. My clients that got pulled over by the police, harassed by the police. Like, I done got pushed on by security guards when I was trying to leave resorts, and just too much shit that just was not okay. And which is probably why I pushed down my experience in Mexico so much, because while it was such a safe place, it was a lot of stuff that just happened between like taxi and like just security and stuff, those are the people where it just get real shaky real quick. And I was just put in a lot of predicaments that I don't even want to get into. But yeah, Thailand is super safe. We got building security. Somebody walks me across the street. They walk you across the street. Like, it's just super safe here. I love it here. Everything is cool. I can walk at night. I can do anything. Any challenges with adapting to local norms or customs? No. I love Thailand. I love bowing. I love Sawadee-ka. I love just being kind and blending in. How much of the local language do you use every day? Sawadee-ka, Kapkun-ka. That's it. Which was easier or more challenging? Thai is definitely more challenging. Spanish is definitely easier. Work and career. How do you sustain your lifestyle living abroad? So when it comes to sustaining my lifestyle abroad, remote work, freelancing, and local jobs, which one do I have? I was not working for the last few months. Well, I was doing content. So I am a remote worker. I do content, and I'm about to drop digital products to, honestly, I'm dropping digital products because people keep asking me questions that I'm tired of answering the same questions over and over, and people want help planning trips, and I'd rather just drop the information in one spot. But it will help me sustain my lifestyle, so I'm gonna do that as well because it makes sense. Has living abroad hindered or helped your career goals? It's done both. It's helped in the sense of keeping me focused, but Thailand is not a business hub. You cannot ship out of here. You can't ship stuff out of here. I can't work here. It's so much that I can't do here because they are an independent country and they have very strict rules. So hindered and helped in different ways. No need to get, deeply into it, but tips for people who want to work abroad. You can't work in Thailand, so I wouldn't come to Thailand if you want to work abroad unless you have a freelance job. I don't have advice about finding jobs or being a digital nomad. I don't have advice for that. I've been on the internet. I've been a content creator my whole life, so it's not something that I could teach. It's not something that I could, all the game that I give is free, and I give it. If you catch it, you catch it. If you don't, I'm not a teacher. I'm sorry. Internet reliability. How does Mexico and Thailand compare for remote work? Definitely, I think it doesn't even matter about the internet. The internet was connected at both places, but the power would go out sometimes in Mexico. Not that often. The power never really goes out here, and we have backup generators immediately if they do. It's more so about my visibility. I didn't have good visibility when I lived in Mexico, so my posts weren't being seen. I wasn't gaining followers, but as soon as I got to Thailand, my posts were being seen, and I think it has a lot to do with like Mexico versus USA versus Thailand and USA are like friendly. So yeah, difference in time zones for work if applicable. So yeah, Mexico is pretty close with the time zone. I think we were on the same time zone in Chicago versus I don't remember, but versus Bangkok, we are 13, 14 hours ahead of a lot of people in America. So I am up all night usually, but it's 9 o'clock, y'all, and I'm exhausted right now. I'm so sleepy. It don't make no sense. But I'm finally just now, January, is it the 5th or so? This January 7th, finally going to bed on time. And I've been living abroad for a year. In Mexico, I slept on time, but here my schedule is off because I post in the middle of the night and I just be up. Like, I need to post tonight, but I'm gonna go to bed probably unless I can make a quick video because I'm exhausted. But yeah, the different time zones is a lot, but I have to start scheduling my posts and stuff and just, calling it one. Travel and exploration. What are my favorite places I visited in the past year? So I loved Pattaya, Thailand, and I love Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Malaysia is beautiful. It's a really big city and the food is so good. And then Pattaya is like a beach city. I didn't go to the beach, but I love the villas. I never had my own villa, and that was such an experience, and I loved it so much. How was your perspective on travel changed while living abroad? I never, focused on traveling and got the opportunity to travel, so I'm looking so much forward to traveling and just making it my priority and honestly making it a part of my career. So I'm super duper excited to travel more, and I'm excited for, what life has in store for me and traveling. Best memories from exploring your new home country. I loved the cafe with the boat. That was one of my favorite things to do. That was so much fun. I've done so much fun stuff. I gotta do off the top of my head. I loved in Pattaya the little photo studio. I love the Christmas shoot. That was so cute. LV, Louis Vuitton, LV Louis Vuitton Museum. Honestly, I've had so much fun here. Racing cars with Brie, like the macaroni, like there's been so many different things that have just been so much fun. So yeah, accessibilities to nearby travel destinations, Mexico's proximity to North Central America, and Thailand's getaway to Southeast Asia. So yeah, I didn't get to travel much in Mexico. Again, I kind of just had a bad taste in my mouth, and then my money was funny, so I couldn't do much with it, and I just wanted to have like emergency funds because Mexico just was so sketchy. Like, as much as I love Mexico, I cannot lie, it was very sketchy in the Quintana Roo. I think I definitely should have, if I would to do it again, I probably would have went to Mexico City. Yeah, Thailand is so close to Asia, and I'm super excited to travel around. Since I was younger, I've always been a businesswoman, and Asia is a business hub, so I'm super excited for what this year has in store for me for business and travel. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Which location offered more variety for weekend trips or cultural excursions? Definitely for weekend trips, I'm gonna say Bangkok. Pattaya's down the street. You can fly to Chiang Mai 45 minutes for cheap. You know, I can go to Malaysia on Christmas for $100. You know, like things are not as expensive. So definitely gonna say that Asia is the better one for a quick getaway and cultural excursions. The cultural stuff here is so inclusive, it's so fun, it's so nice, and they educate you and they walk you through it, and they're happy for you to be a part of it. So definitely Asia. All right, almost to the end, guys. Advice for others, tips for those considering to move abroad. Definitely do research. If you are spiritual, please pray and ask God if it is His will. Do not do anything that God is not telling you to do. I'm not telling you if you're unsure not to do it. I'm telling you to make sure you're sure, and to make sure you do proper research, and make sure that you keep on hearing that it's time to go. What I wish I knew before moving, probably more about visa processes, and I kind of pretty much knew, but I think there was some stuff that I don't think was very clear about, like being on an education visa and not being able to travel and stuff like that. Yeah, so I'm not on that. Practical advice: visas, housing, language, and learning. Can't give no advice on visas. Housing, I did a video on finding an apartment. Language learning, don't know the language, but there are a lot of classes out here. Advice for others: for someone deciding between living in Mexico and Thailand, which one would you recommend? If you need a baby step, I would do the same thing I did. 6 months Mexico, 6 months in Thailand afterwards, so you can build yourself up to live further. But if you only have one time to jump, I would definitely say Thailand. Pros and cons of each location depending on lifestyle preferences: party scene, family life, relaxation. If you like to party, I think you could get away with both. Maybe not Bangkok in a sense of partying like every day, but Thailand, period. Family life, I think Thailand and Mexico, but I think education is better in Thailand. Relaxation definitely would be Thailand. What's next? Do you see yourself staying abroad longer? I see myself staying abroad for about 1 more year, and then I will be going back home, if 1 year, 1.5. But I do see myself coming home every quarter next year, coming home, doing some exclusive stuff. Any plans to move elsewhere? I would love to live in China. Goals for the next year: living abroad. Make sure that I hone in on my business stuff and start building my brands from the ground up. That's all I'm gonna say. Key questions to answer: what's your biggest surprise of living abroad? My biggest surprise truly has been just how advanced it is here. That's been my biggest surprise. What do you love most about your current location? The inspiration and how much it drives me to just want to be better. How do you handle feelings of homesickness or culture shock? Homesickness it's not a thing for me. I just be hungry. I miss my mama. That's it. Would you recommend this lifestyle to others? No, I would not. It's a personal decision. I don't recommend things that are personal. I don't believe in that. I think that is very, very personal, and you need to make a decision for yourself. I cannot give you a recommendation. I am not a doctor with a referral. Is there anything you do differently? Not at all. I think that I would pack better. I would bring some damn clothes. So okay, so that was all of the questions. Oh, I do have some questions on Instagram, but let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions you want me to answer. I do have a blog, so I will answer them on my blog so they can live there forever, or I'll answer them down in the comments. I'll let you know with a link or the answer. Let's answer the final questions from Instagram. Hopefully they're not questions I already answered. I love your content and want to move abroad. What kind of work do you recommend doing? I don't have any recommendations. I don't have a job, so definitely do extensive research. I'm moving to Thailand in 2025. Any advice? Everything I just said. Are there any local traditions or customs you've come to love, or food, drinks you can't go without? I love roselle. Any roselle drink, love it. Lychee drinks, love it. Yuzu, love it. I love traditional Thai wear. It's gorgeous. What are the most surprising cultural differences you've noticed? Just the bowing, the altars everywhere. I love your life. How did you manage taking that risk? I love your life story. How did you manage taking that risk moving abroad? Trusting God and believing and having faith. What are the pros and cons living in Thailand? We discussed that. How would you advise another Black woman looking to make that move to Thailand, working for a Thai company or a U.S. company that allowed you abroad? I don't have any experience in working a job and living abroad, so I can't give advice for that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something about my journey living abroad. I don't know, how this video was. I'm tired. I know I talked a lot, I rambled, but I am truly so grateful and so proud of myself for living abroad for 1 year. I can't wait to see what this year, 2025, brings me in my journey of living abroad. I am so proud of myself, and I'm going to continue to keep my faith. I'm going to continue to push through and continue to just, yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.